Hi there and welcome to Fuzzy on the Details. My name is Fuzzy and today we've got some news about the latest product announcement for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, Spider-Man Midtown Mayhem, a one-shot adventure. Now at present, I don't have a lot more information about this product than you do, but that's kind of fun. It means we get to speculate right alongside each other. And I do think there are some things that we can break down together. First off, let's take a look at the announcement. And hey, look at that. It's an official announcement through Marvel's socials. I know that some people out there preferred that these types of announcements go out through the official channels rather than, say, a live panel like Secret Wars was announced, so for those folks, hey, we are starting off strong. The text here tells us a lot, referring to Tombstone, the Hand, Spider-Man, and the Hulk. And reading that, how can you not think about August's Spider-Man Brand New Day movie, which has featured the Hand in the marketing? And while we haven't seen the Hulk yet in the trailers, we have seen Bruce Banner. And we know that Tombstone is in the movie too, played by Marvin Jones III, even though he has not appeared in an official trailer, at least at the time of this recording. And the cover art, well, that solidifies the connection to Brand New Day, with the hand ninjas looking very similar to the ones we saw in the trailer, and it's interesting to see a rank 6, a rank 4, and a bunch of rank 1s on the cover. Tombstone, not featured, is at rank 3, and Punisher, who's in the movie at least, is rank 2. Now, the Fantastic Four from the Depths adventure did have heroes from rank 2 to rank 5, so maybe this will continue to be a thing in the future. And if you zoom and enhance a little bit here on the cover, you can see the signatures belong to Paco Medina and Jesus Aburtov. These guys have done plenty of work for the Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, including teaming up for the Avengers expansion cover, as well as the forthcoming Secret Wars expansion cover. Well, at least the Gen Con exclusive one. The release date is listed here as September. That's of note because Brand New Day, well, that comes out on July 31st. So that's a whole month after the movie. Now, Fantastic Four from the Depths only came out a few days after the movie did. Now, maybe you could read into that a little bit. It leaves open the possibility that some of the plot points or the pre-gens could contain spoilers for the movie. So maybe there's a chance we don't learn very much more about this adventure until after the movie comes out. But regardless, this adventure is once again tightly aligned with the MCU release schedule, which I am all for. And, as I've said before, it's got to be much easier for Marvel to do this with a shorter book than with a longer hardcover. The 64-page book is much less complex, doesn't take as much time to create, which means you can wait until a movie date is fully locked in before committing resources to write the book, do all the art, etc. And then you're guaranteed to be able to take advantage of all of that natural cross-marketing. Now that's all that we can glean from this announcement, but as a bonus, right after I got done recording up to this point, I stumbled across more information. Check out this Amazon listing. It gives us a lot more information. For example, we learned that Matt Forbeck was one of the authors, well, perhaps a no-brainer, but we've got Cody Ziegler here also mentioned as a co-author. Cody has an impressive writing resume. He is the current writer for the latest Miles Morales Spider-Man comic book, and he's got over 150 writing credits for Marvel alone. Outside of the comic stuff, he's written for Robot Chicken, Futurama, and Rick and Morty, so I'm really interested to see what he brings to the game. We also have the length of the book confirmed at 64 pages long, which is the same length as the Deadpool adventure and the Marvel Rivals Time Stream adventure. We've also got another artist credited. Now, if you take that, the length of the book, and the fact that we've got a comic book writer involved, that to me suggests that we're going to get a comic intro like Deadpool and Time Stream have. We've got the price at $14.99, which again is the same as Deadpool and Time Stream, and while we don't know this for sure, we can probably guess that we're going to see a Kindle price of $9.99 and a demi-plane price of $9.99 as well. That's the same prices as the previous two adventures. Here is a breakdown of the Time Stream adventure as a reminder to give you a sense of what we might get if this book follows suit. In addition, we're almost certainly going to get some maps. Now, we had 4 maps in Deadpool and 3 in the Time Stream adventure, so maybe we'll see something in that range as well from, of course, hopefully, Brian Patterson. One last thing to talk about. The cover calls this book a one-shot adventure. That is not something we've seen on any of the adventure covers. The phrase one-shot does get used in the core rulebook to define a single-issue style of play, and I suppose that calling the adventure a one-shot, which is a gaming term, is less confusing than calling it a single issue, which is a comic book term. When this book is the same size as a comic, I can see maybe why they would want to use one-shot. But the question is, why are we getting this change at all, and why now? Now, my personal take is that they would not make a change like this, calling these one-shots, unless they had many more of these planned for the future. You wouldn't do this as a one-shot. So maybe the plan is, rather than getting 2 hardcovers and 1 64-page adventure like we have in the past, maybe we're going to get 2 or 3 of these one-shots with 1 hardcover as a new pattern going into 2027 and beyond. I really like that because it allows you to tie the hardcover to Gen Con, tie the summer one-shot release with the big summer MCU blockbuster, and maybe, just maybe, that means you've got enough time and resources available to do a December one-shot that ties in with the inevitable Christmas time holiday season MCU release. And that gives you 1 release per quarter, and maybe that's something that the higher-ups at Marvel would like to see out of this line going forward. Anyway, I think it's a win-win. Love to see this happen. I also think that these smaller, more frequent releases are going to be really good to draw new players into the game, especially if they're tied to MCU events. Think about it. Let's say you're not a big comic book fan, but you really, really love Brand New Day and you love the Spider-Man character, and somebody introduces you to this brand new adventure, and you can say to them, don't worry if you don't know the comics. All you need to know is what you learned in the Brand New Day movie, and you can enjoy this game. That's going to be a great way to bring new players into the fold. So, what predictions do you guys have for pre-gens in this release? It isn't as obvious as the Fantastic Four or the Thunderbolt adventure, right? Personally, I think they're going to have Spidey, Hulk, of course, maybe a reprint of the Punisher profile that they made available on the web, just to get that into a book so you can get it on Demiplane. That would be awesome. Whatever character that Sadie Sink is playing, I don't want to say who, because technically that's a spoiler since it hasn't officially been revealed yet. And maybe, just maybe, a rank 3 Daredevil. I know a lot of people would like that. And one last one, and this is a long shot, but how about Mary Jane's Jackpot? And well, my friends, that is all that I've got for you today. As more information is released on this book, I will be sure to keep you in the loop. And until then, thank you so much for all of your continued support. Keep those likes and those hypes coming. The next video will be out shortly. I had to put that on pause to crank this one out real quick, so stay tuned for that. It's a big one, so it has been taking me a lot of time. Until then, thanks again and have a great day.